Welcome to the Procurement Signal, the show that tunes into the future of procurement. In every episode, we dive straight into how modern teams are transforming supplier relationships, elevating vendor management, tackling supplier risk, and driving real sustainability impact. If you're ready to rewire procurement from a back-office function to a strategic powerhouse, you're in the right place. This is your signal. Amplify what procurement can be.
Hi there, and welcome to another episode on the Procurement Signal. I've observed in most operational environments, people mix up risk management with governance. Some think it is the same thing, while others feel it's someone else's job to do. So, unsurprisingly, when it comes to procurement, these sentiments are echoed all the time. If procurement was a child, think of risk and governance as the parents. Governance is the parent who insists you follow the rules and keep your room clean, while risk management is the one who makes you wear a helmet before you get on your bike. For example, you tell the business we need 3 quotes before we can decide to purchase that high-tech printer. That is governance. But what if that high-tech printer breaks down? We need the additional warranty. That is risk management. You see, governance and risk management need each other. Let's take a closer look at how these two parents play out within our procurement environment. In category management, you cannot just decide to switch or change things in isolation. For example, if you are sourcing coffee beans for a cafe chain, just because a new supplier gives you a cool discount with expedited delivery does not mean you have the authority to make the change. You need to consult people. In this case, it might be the barista who has to work with the coffee beans, the sales team who would likely seek customer feedback before the change, and the quality team who probably digs into the sources of how the coffee is grown and processed in order to sustain a great taste. This is governance in action. What you are effectively doing by consultation is taking the decision making to a steering committee who see this change of coffee beans from a cross-functional perspective. In this way, each function can look at their own risk. Using this coffee beans example, as the sourcing lead, you want to ensure that your new supplier provides the same or similar contract conditions as your current supplier. In addition, each member of the steering committee, the barista, the sales team, the quality people, provide feedback on the risk of change. Collectively, this is all risk management. So, the question is, in a procurement team, who actually performs governance and risk management? Overall, I've seen 2 operating models. Model 1. This is when there is a dedicated role for governance and risk sitting within the procurement team. It's safe to say this usually happens in larger organizations or in highly regulated industries. There is a dedicated governance or risk lead whose job is to build and enforce SOPs. By SOPs, I mean standard operating procedures. The analysis from these SOPs help out with building risk profiles or heat maps, which then helps the team to manage areas of higher risk. Model 2. This is the do-it-yourself model. In smaller companies or lean procurement teams, there is no dedicated role. Instead, governance and risk are embedded into everyone's job. So in this model, category managers, sourcing leads wear multiple hats. They are the negotiators and the compliance officers. You may have standard operating procedures, but due to the lack of a central figure, this model runs the risk of SOPs being updated to suit needs. This model works, but it has a level of flexibility baked into it. So the bottom line is, governance is the map, it's the rules, and risk management is the insurance policy, the backup plan. Whether you have one person doing it or 10, if no one is looking at the map or paying the insurance premium, you're just driving blind and driving without insurance. That's all for today's episode. I'll see you next time.
If you enjoyed today's episode, share it with a colleague or, even better, your leader. They'll thank you later. And that's what the Procurement Signal is here to do. Amplify the real value of procurement and help teams everywhere step into their strategic power. Please subscribe, share it with your team, and join us next time on another transformative procurement topic. Visit www.procurementsignal.com for more info. Stay curious and keep tuning into the Signal.